Hello, we are back. Just realized I've been doing only like book videos lately, but hey, today I thought we could do a reading wrap-up of the last 3 months because I've been reading a lot and I think these have been like the best reading months of the year for sure, but like of ever. This has been a very good time. I didn't really read much the first half of the year, and then I said I read every day all day since September. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do September, October, November, and the 10 days of December that we've had so far. I have my Goodreads here open because I have the memory of a fish. But I will definitely not remember what I read or my ratings. We start because there's many, so chop chop. So Malibu Rising. She is a baby. I love her. She did good. You know what? I'm gonna talk about Carrie Soto's Black as well. I read Carrie Soto in December, but they kind of go together. Can we appreciate that the spines match? This and Daisy Jones have the same font, and I love it so much. It happens with every single Taylor Jenkins Reid book I read. The first like 100 pages, I'm like, okay, cute. And then I love them so much. I get so attached to the characters. The thing about Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, you forget 100% that these people aren't real. I full on thought they existed. Like I thought Daisy Jones existed. Like I thought Evelyn Hugo existed. You literally just believe it's such a realistic fictional world that you really think, yeah, for sure, Carrie Soto is the best tennis player of all time. These are kind of connected between the two because this is about Nina Riva. She's a model that surfs with a very difficult background and very difficult life. And this is about another woman, just as much of a badass, a bit more of a bitch. Nina is lovely. She is a tennis player. Both of them lose their mom very young. Shitty dad, which is Mick Riva. He's in every single book. A very good dad that made her the best tennis player of all time. And she retired and then she comes back because someone stole her record. So she wanted to get it back. And will she do it? Who knows? They're kind of connected between each other because she is married to a tennis player that he cheats on her with her. You actually see Carrie Soto in this. Carrie Soto appears in Malibu Rising, but you can read both of them without reading the other. It's absolutely fine. There's mentions of Daisy Jones and the Six. I love that this whole world is connected. We need to move on. There's too many books. Let's go. The first that we grab is Divine Rival. I love this book. I think I gave this either 4.5 or 4.2.5. I don't know. Something like a bit more than 4, not 5. It's a YA. People say it's a fantasy book. I don't think this is a fantasy book. I think this is a war novel with fantasy elements in it. It's not a fantasy book. Don't expect a fantasy world. Don't. There's fantasy. It's not a fantasy book. It's so cute. It is so motherfucking cute. Kicking your little feet. They are young. I think they're like 18 and 19. YA. Enemies to lovers. But like it's cute enemies. You know what I mean? They're not daggers through the throat kind of enemies. They're like, I hate him enemies. There's like a war going on between gods. They are both like journalists and they end up on the front line somehow. She has this crazy typewriter. Oh, because this is based, I don't know when, but this is based in a long time ago. There's no fucking phones. She has a typewriter that she writes on that somehow is connected to another typewriter, and she is writing to this person that she doesn't know, and she falls in love with this person that she's writing to that she doesn't know, her pen friends, I guess, typewriter friend. And turns out, of course, guess who it is? You just guess. Who could it be? It's so fucking cute. He is boyfriend of the year. Like, he's so cute. He literally can do no wrong. It's a romance war novel with some fantasy element in it. I strongly recommend. It's so fucking cute. I forgot to say, this is from Rebecca Ross. Talking about enemies to lovers fantasy, next we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Lauren is fucking 12. I swear to God, this girl is so young. She's like 21 and she wrote a novel already and she's got another one coming out. Good job, Lauren. So proud of you. What the hell? This is so good. This is YA too, but it's a very different YA than that. So if you can hear the rain, you will be correct. It's raining. This is a fantasy book. This is a fantasy book. It's enemies to lovers, like heavy enemies to lovers. Like daggers through the throat, daggers strapped to your thigh, ballrooms, he's a prince, like ball gowns and Hunger Games. Who did this to you? Like, this is the shit. I'm not gonna lie. This was fucking incredible. I'm rereading it and annotating it for my best friend because this is how much I liked it. This is 5-star. So hot. So much tension, but it's YA. There's no spice. None. But there was no need because it was so much tension. This world of like the ordinaries and the elites. So the ordinaries are the people without magic and the elites are the people with some sort of magic. Obviously there's stronger magic and weaker magic, but everyone has a power. If you're an ordinary, you get killed in this world. They're like, nah, out, because they think that you're contagious, okay? And you have a disease. That's a lie. They just want a pure elite group of people. The king has 2 sons. The older one is obviously going to be the future king, and the younger one, who's the enforcer, which is pretty much a monster, like a guy built to kill and to, you know, fight and to murder ordinaries. She is an ordinary, living homeless, living in the horrible part of town, like fucking District 12, pretty much. You know, no food, not a job. She steals. That's her job. She's a thief. She ends up in those games that happen every 5 years. Literally kind of like the Hunger Games. They're called trials and they're very deadly. They're not like the Hunger Games that everyone dies but one, but like you can easily die in those trials. And she has no powers. She's pretending to be a psychic. Her whole life she's pretended to be a psychic because if she said, yeah, I don't have powers, she'd be dead in a minute. So she's pretending to be a psychic and she's competing against people with crazy ass powers. And she's out there being a bare human, like what the fuck? Obviously, there's a love story between her and the prince, but the other prince, there's another prince as well, don't forget about him. He's just as hot. There's a revolution happening. So, it's insane. Read it, please. The next one we have is Flawless by Elsie Silva. I read this very quickly. And I read this after I read a book that I fucking loved. So I'm not sure if it's fair, my judgment on her. It wasn't like my favorite book I've ever read. It was okay. It's a fluffy, cute love story between a cowboy. But like, it's not like hee-haw cowboys, Canadian cowboys, I'm pretty sure. And not a cowboy, a bull rider. She is the daughter of his agent. And he's got a bad reputation. He needs to get his shit together because, you know, sponsors are dropping. There was a scandal about milk that was ridiculous to me, but he needs to get his act together and she's there for that. That's her job. She's like, her dad, his agent, was like, can you please help out? You know, we need him to put him on the right track, look like a golden boy. And obviously, be funny enough. And he always keeps referring to her like, oh, she's my babysitter. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's like here to keep me in check. She's just here because she has to do a job. Or is she here because she wants to be here? You know, a classic, fluffy, cute romance. It's a great palate cleanser. This is part of a series. I'm pretty sure there's 4. Because there's 3 brothers and a friend. And it's every single book is a different... I just didn't love this one, but I might give it a go and read the other 3. Or at least the second one. But it's cute. It's very cute, but not life-changing. That's now what was life-changing. It's the next series. You've read it. I've read it. Everyone has read it. I'm not gonna lie. It was fucking incredible. So that's why it's everywhere. It's incredible. I believe this is a bit better than this. I know they look pretty much like the same length. This is 10 times bigger. Somehow the font is tiny as hell. This is a fantasy series. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be 5 books in a series. The main character is called Violet and the main boy is called Xaden. You heard about Xaden. I've heard about Xaden. He's so hot. I've cried here at one point. There was a sad moment here too. There's dragons. The dragons are so fucking sassy and so funny. Probably my favorite characters are the fucking dragons. This is their first year. This is their second year. It's literally Divergent with dragons. Let me put it to you. 4 is Xaden and she's Triss. This is Divergent with dragons and fantasy. Like, that's it. They're 5 stars, reads. So much tension. There's spice. There's lightning. Well, the spice is happening as well. It says, brutal games, grumpy dragons, sizzling sexual tension. That's it. That really describes it very well. Graduate or die. Yeah. If you like Sarah J Maas, I think you'd like this. I think this is a great first fantasy book. Like Powerless, to be honest. These are great first fantasy books to read because they're romantasy. It's literally Divergent with dragons, sexual tension, sassiness, great characters, found family, the who did this to you, you know, lies and things happening and you don't know about. Read them. Magnolia Parks. I told you about the first one and I was like, I didn't really love it because I didn't really love the first one. And then I fucking adored the rest. So, strongly recommend reading them. They are extremely addicting. The most addicting books I've ever seen in my life. I've never felt a book being so addicting in my life. I literally, like even this one, which I didn't love, I was reading this and I was like, I hate this. But I love it and I can't stop reading. There's a lot of, it's a toxic relationship. As toxic as it gets. As toxic as it gets. Everyone here needs therapy. Every single one of them needs therapy. And it's very Gossip Girly. But they don't go to school. So it's Gossip Girl for older people. Like they're all over 20, 21, 22. They're all filthy rich. They're all hot. And they're all it's very incestuous. Everyone is sleeping with each other in this friend group. Fair enough. Jessa Hastings. And the main character is Magnolia Parks. And she is literally like the most beautiful girl who ever walked this planet. Everyone just says that. She's just that pretty. Rich. She's like known, has followers. She's kind of famous. Based in London. And she has a group of friends that they are inseparable. They've been to boarding school together. So, you know, that kind of vibe. They all have issues. None of them have good parents. Most of them are shitty parents. These two books happen at the same time, narrated from different people. This is narrated from the point of view of Magnolia and BJ, the two main characters. And this is narrated from the point of view of Daisy, Christian, and Julian. But like obviously it's different stories. This timeline, this happened at the same time. And timeline, these happen at the same time. I think this is the best book. Daisy Hades. I love her so much. I just love Daisy and I love Christian. I love Julian, even though you're not supposed to love Julian because Julian is not a nice guy. Very morally grey. Very morally grey. And she is a cute little girl and he's a model. And they just have a very toxic relationship with some trauma that we don't know yet about. On and off, yes and no. He sleeps with other people. She's like, oh no, then I will go with someone else. You know, something happened years ago that we don't know about yet. You'll find out. And that she can forgive him. Daisy, instead, she's just like this girl that wants to be a doctor. She's a year younger than Magnolia, I believe. And she is friends with benefit with Christian. Christian is in love with Magnolia, first of all. They're like just friends with benefit. And she has a brother, and her brother is a gang lord. So it's like a mafia guy. So she's a mafia princess. She doesn't want to be. She hates this life. She just wants to lead a normal life. She can't. And to be honest, Christian and Christian's brother as well are in a gang. So really, she's just surrounded by shitty ass human beings. But at the end of the day, we love them. Should you love a gang lord? Definitely not. Do we love them? Yeah, we do. What can you do? It's a book, okay? And then it evolves. I don't want to tell you what happens, but it evolves. Shit happens. Shit hits the fan. The end of this book. Next one is coming out in February. I need that because this was a crazy cliffhanger. To recap, they need therapy. I left the best for last. This is my favorite series I've ever read in my life, and I read it in the whole month of October, I believe. I just grabbed the last book. It's Throne of Glass. If you follow me everywhere, I've talked about this everywhere, so this is not a shock. I love this series so much. I've never loved a series this much. I knew I would like it, but I read the first 2 books last year, at the end of last year. And they were fine, they were nice, they were good. But I wasn't like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever read. And then I read the prologue, which everyone says you should read first, but I read third. But maybe you should read it first. I read it in April this year, and that was good. I was like, oh, okay, makes sense. And then I left it. I didn't come back to it until after Fourth Wing, I read Fourth Wing and I was like, I need more fantasy. I started reading Hair of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storm, Tower of Dawn, Kingdom of Ash. In a month, I read them all. When I tell you this has changed my life, this personally I think is the best book. Yes, it is 1,000 pages. It's Sarah J. Maas. She doesn't know how to write a book that is less than 600 pages. Anyway, it's fucking incredible though. Like, I don't know how to explain to you how much you can, like, if you read Akatar or you read Crescent City, please. It talks about this assassin called Selena. She is very young at the beginning of the first book. In the prologue, she's 17. And then she's 18, 19, 20, 21. I think she ends, she's 21. I've never cried this much for a series. I've never cared about characters this much. I can't even tell you what it is about because what the fuck is it about? Like, okay, it's about this girl. She is a slave at one point, and the prince comes and get her to play in these games to win and be the king's assassins. Let's say that. But that's just the first book. There's another 7 books. So really, like, that's not the main plot. But it's about this girl that loves her. See, I can't even say that because that's a spoiler. I can't tell you shit because everything is a spoiler. But like, trust me, I don't know. Like, I've never cared about a character this much. I've never cared about a group of people this much. It's found family, third person point of view, so you get the point of view from every single character. There's so many couples, like, only in this book we're talking about 6 couples. I'm not lying, and they're all great. I can't put it into words. There's people that from bad become good. They are enemies to lovers. I've never met enemies to lovers more enemies than they enemied. Like, they enemied in a way that no one enemied before. You're worthless and you're it was good if you died 10 years ago kind of enemies. But we love them, they're cute. They're my favorite couple of all time. I'm not telling you which one because there's so many. It's a Sarah J. Maas book, you know what I mean? You never know who actually end up being the main love interest. Brutal, horrible. I cried so much. Like, the last 100 pages I cried. I just cried the whole time. I know it's 1,000 pages, but it doesn't feel like it. When you read it, you fly through that. I will never move on. It's my Roman Empire. I think about it every day, and all I'm hoping is I can't tell you what I'm hoping because then I will spoil another book. This is a difficult life. I can't tell you shit because obviously I read all of them. So I read 5 books, but I didn't want to bring all 5. Yeah, this is all I've read in the last couple of months, in the last 3 months, and it was fucking great. Please, if you get anything from this, is read Magnolia Parks, read Fourth Wing, read Throne of Glass, read Powerless, every Taylor Jenkins Reid books ever, and Divine Rivals. And you know what? Read Flawless by Elsie too, why not? That's it. Just me having the best reading months of my existence, and I wanted to share it with you. This is all I wanted to talk to you about. It was just me, a video just to convince you to read my favorite books that I've read this year because they all happen to be in these 3 months. It's been a pleasure. I love you. Have a great day. If you want to like and subscribe for more shitty content like this, go for it. Go and read my favorite books so we can talk about it and be friends. What's in my bio? My storefront and books are on my Amazon storefront. My Goodreads, so we can be friends and talk about books. My Amazon wishlist and my social. So if you want to follow me everywhere else, they're there. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I love you. Have the best day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. I love you. Ciao, ciao.